if I record our conversation? It's easier than taking notes. Go ahead. Ready? Ready. Holly related what Millie had turned up on the twins. That's extremely good work, Lance said. I thought so. I have hopes for her. Just shows how one personal relationship can cut through the fog and turn up useful information. I wouldn't say it's useful in this case, Holly said. Au contraire, Lance said in his best accent. We now know the two are identical twins. That could be most helpful. We know Devon's bank. We might even have an asset there. That would be very helpful indeed, Holly said. Now, what do you need from me? Millie drew a blank on the third photograph, the one who was said to have spent some time at Berkeley. I'd like to know where that information came from, and if there's any more of it. I don't believe it came from our people. I'll have some calls made and see if it can be tracked down. Talk to you later. Lance hung up. So did Holly. Lance made a call to the agency officer who had helped prepare the file for the president's intelligence briefing. Her name was Charlotte Weir, and she was a fairly new officer, having joined 3 years before. Good morning, Charlotte. Good morning, Director. You are part of the collaborative effort, are you not, to prepare the President's daily intelligence briefings? I am, sir. Do you recall that in the discussion of our 3 persons of interest, those of the poor photographs, there was made mention that one of them might have spent some time at the University of California at Berkeley? I recall that was said of one of the men. It was said of 2 that they were at a British private school. They have since been accounted for. He brought her up to date on the twins. I now wish you to speak to whoever contributed the Berkeley information, to place a time frame on when he might have attended, and to thoroughly rake all of Berkeley's records that might tell us more about him. I'll get right on it, Director. That would please me greatly. Work as quickly as you can. Lance hung up. 21. Stone and Pat got into the rear seat of the Bentley, and Fred drove them to Stone's house. He asked Fred to take her luggage upstairs. Which room? Fred whispered to Stone. Mine, Stone whispered back. Come on down to my office and tell me about your idea, he said to Pat. Joe picked up with some coffee. Have you ever flown your airplane across the Atlantic? Pat asked. No, but I've always wanted to. There's an awful lot of work to do, I understand. A lot of paperwork. A client of mine who owns a string of Jaguar dealerships in Britain, Europe, and the States has bought himself a Citation Jet 4, and he wants it flown to Wichita, where he's going to do his training. Why don't you and I fly your airplane under there? Paperwork is what I do, and I can do it fast. I've already had a dozen crossings on the northern route doing ferry flights, so I can show you the ropes. We'll land in Coventry, which is where both Jaguar and my client live. He's offered me the loan of a car if I want to do some touring, and I never had any time to myself in England. I was always in and out. That sounds very inviting, Stone said. But what about your business? The business is nascent. I can handle what I've got on the phone, and your airplane has a cell phone. Also, I can't work out of my new office until this thing with Kevin is settled. Well, you know the northern route, and I know England. I hitchhiked around the island when I was a student, and I saw a lot of very nice country hotels that I couldn't afford to stay in. When do we go? I can get the paperwork in hand by next Monday. How's that? Stone turned to his computer and checked the next couple of weeks. Nothing here that can't be handled by phone or just paper. You're on. But why do we have to do the northern route? Your airplane has a 1,300-mile range, and that's not enough to go non-stop. We'll fly up to Goose Bay in Labrador, about 10 hours overall. But we can take turns flying and napping. You've already got an office right down the hall, Stone said. All my manuals and paperwork are in my flight bag right over there. He pointed. So get to work. She finished her coffee and did just that. Stone was working on his maple.
Him up there, he's got a good chance of losing the lead as they go to turn 2.
Sterling Marlin takes over the number 4 spot as he drives underneath the Ward Burton machine. The lap car of Steve Parkin looking to kill it on the inside of him.
Now here's Kevin Harvick again. He's changing lanes. He's on the move. He's down to the inside. He's got drafting help this time. At the same time, Jimmy Johnson goes to the outside. 3 wide. Harvick by Johnson. Now Ward Burton to Harvick's outside.
This is the battle for second. Harvick working turns 3 and 4. Ward Burton to his outside. They're right behind Jeff Gordon, the leader. Harvick sticks the nose out, gets second place ever so briefly. Ward Burton counterattacks on the outside. They're still wheel to wheel off turn 4.
Now Jeff Gordon pulls to the outside lane, right up in front of Ward Burton. He doesn't stay there very long. Ward makes it 3 wide. He goes wide down across the start-finish line, retakes the lead. Here comes Junior now, charging up alongside Kevin Harvick for third.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. with a full head of momentum and drafting help from Matt Kenseth now side by side with Kevin Harvick. Harvick's got some company down low from Jimmy Johnson. They're nose to nose for third.
Ward Burton and Jeff Gordon, the top 2, single file up top to the outside lane. Kevin Harvick still pushing the point down low. He is trying to muster up any bit of drafting help he can find. Right now he's got Jimmy Johnson and Sterling Marlin behind. Harvick and Junior side by side for third.
Johnson is behind Harvick, but it's not enough to push him to the lead. So Harvick for the moment has to settle for third. But Dale Jr. is at his right elbow. He's getting the shove from Ward Burton as they come off of turn 4. It's still a high-speed shell game. Shouldn't be anybody up in that lead draft that doesn't understand the draft and how it works pretty well both at Daytona and at Talladega. Here they come down the line. Ward Burton sees a run coming to the inside. This time down to the bottom of the racetrack goes Earnhardt Jr. as he got the lead in 1.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. drives deep into 1 and he will take the lead away once again. The Budweiser Chevrolet back to the point. It's Dale Jr. Ward Burton back Kenseth on the outside.
Ward Burton has sole possession of second, side by side for third. You've got Jeff Gordon upstairs, Matt Kenseth downstairs. Both drivers with drafting help. Gordon has Joe Nemechek and Kenny Wallace. Kenseth has Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick as Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads again to 3.
Fight for third is still wheel to wheel with Jeff Gordon up high. Matt Kenseth down low. Both drivers have drafting help. Jimmy Johnson is right there.